welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Pokemon Thursday, the day of the week where we just decide one day will you just jump out the window and attack birds. I think obviously the dog can't get anywhere near the window because we just have a collection of Lego and Funko, but he sees the birds on the roof and he gets ever so close to just thinking, I'm going to fucking kill you one day. But I don't even know if you would kill them, would you? I feel like we would have speaking of Pokemon, we'd have like an Ash Spearow situation where they would just royally fuck you up, son. Yes, anyway, visuals, welcome back to the channel. And of course, it is Pokemon Thursday. We're going to talk about Pokemon. More specifically, we're going to talk about a Pokemon team for a certain comic book character. Now, this week, I've gone quite hard. It's a very, well, on the surface, it's easy as shit. Because it's Ben Grimm. I don't know why I'm keeping it a secret, the thumbnail and everything, and the title gives it away. We've gone for Ben Grimm, the Thing, of Fantastic Four and shit like that. And I know the obvious answer is to be like, well, he's made a rock, just give him a 4-rock team. Yes, that is the answer, but to any of you doing this with me, James, I'm looking at you because you always come up with some beautiful suggestions for these videos. You can only have one rock. We've only gone for one rock type, haven't we? You're only allowed one rock type. You can't just go on the rock aesthetic of the Thing. You have to go through his character, his emotions, what makes Ben, you know, certain stuff that he's been through in the comics and shit. You have to just choose one rock and the rest of them all for different reasons and stuff like that. But this was a really hard one to go for because as much as Ben is definitely an iconic Marvel character, that goes without friggin' saying, but he's quite deep in terms of different storylines and emotions. We've seen certain deaths happen and he's had to go toe-to-toe with Thor and the Hulk because he's so angry and distraught because certain people have died and shit like that. He's vulnerable. He's very much a family guy and all this kind of stuff. But as a complex character, he's nowhere near on the level of a Bruce Wayne, Batman, Spider-Man, or even an Iron Man and stuff like that. There's definitely a certain amount of layers to Ben. But I wanted to challenge myself and still try and give myself a really cool team, which is unique and fitting for Ben to have for the certain different reasons. But please let me know in the comments below if you think I've absolutely fumbled this, because like I said, it was super hard. And let me know, just whatever you want, let me know in the comments below about your team or who we should do next, all that kind of stuff. But are we ready, visuals? Let's give Ben Grimm his very own Pokemon team. Fuck me, this was hard. The birds are just gonna fly away. I will do the obvious one first. We need to give him a rock type, and I've gone for Rhyperior. Now, there were so many rock types that would have fit the Ben Grimm, because you could have seen him stood there. Because I think as well, this will be his ace. You could see him coming out there stood by side with a Golem. That would be pretty dope. You could see him easily stood by side with like an Onyx or some shit like that, or a Gigalith, or just some badass unit looking sort of one. I have still gone for a badass unit looking one, and I've gone for Rhyperior. I think Ben Grimm and Rhyperior charging at you, just, you know, fucking up Doctor Doom however they can, or whatever it is they're doing with the Fantastic Four. Reed Richards has got them on some kind of mission, and it's Ben Grimm and Rhyperior doing their shit. Both Ben's chucking rocks, Rhyperior's doing rock blasts and all this kind of stuff. I think it's an obvious one. I think it's a cool one. They're both massive units. I think as well, Ben Grimm, because he's not mega tall. I think he'll only just be a bit taller than Rhyperior, if I'm thinking about that correctly, which I'm probably not. But yes, Rhyperior is Ben Grimm's ace. So we'll also make it his first Pokemon. How about this one then? Clefairy. Now we've gone for Clefairy. We haven't evolved it. It's staying as a Clefairy. Now the reason why I've gone for this is because we know the history of Ben Grimm. He was friends with Reed Richards. Reed Richards is a lot more intelligent, but Ben went off into the army and that, become like a pilot and stuff like that. And he became like a pilot, and then therefore he could drive a rocket ship and he become an astronaut. He has been to space. He's done his space shenanigans. There's a deep tie with space inside of him. Now we know there's a lot of Pokemon that do and have come from space. Deoxys, but I can't see them too matching up. Minior is said to have come from space, isn't it? But I think the idea of this cute, cuddly little Clefairy stood on the shoulder of this dominant, big, muscular powerhouse of a rock man. I just think it's just a cool little dynamic. He's sat there coming out as Rhyperior, he's done his shit, and he's like, come on out, Clefairy. And he's just got a little Clefairy just chilling there, Clefairy. And I love it. You know, it would be his little, maybe when they went off into space, there was a drifting Clefairy that was coming from the moon or some shit. And he's like, oh, what's that? And it kind of fell in, and it just it just attached itself to him. You know, sometimes you'll see that in different comics or shows, there'll be like a menacing thing, but like this small, innocent, cute little creature will attach itself to the powerful thing, and the powerful thing's like, no, I don't want any part of this. But eventually, no, it's like falls in love, and it's like, no, this is my little pal now, forever and done. And I feel like you can have that sort of dynamic, and I love the idea of it. Plus, like I said, the space theme is still there. The astronaut that Ben Grimm is, the space potentially coming from the moon of Clefairy. Gimme Ghoul. Now, you might be thinking, why the fuck would you choose Gimme Ghoul? It's just a load of coins. Well, we do know that Ben Grimm has, and probably will to have in the future, is a lot of poker games. We've seen some very iconic shots of Ben Grimm up in poker games, up against Marvel characters and shit like that. And it's always so cool because obviously I always get like the, you know, the New York vibe, gambling and all that kind of shit at some sort of behind a bar, that one little light, smoking a cigar, the ashtray, the chips and the money all coming out. And I think Gimme Ghoul would just be his way of being like, all in with these or whatever. It would just, you know, give him some coins and there we go, done, dusted. And I just think it fits quite well. He'll just start chilling, be like, I've got to Gimme Ghoul. Come on, Gimme Ghoul. Let's fucking win some more chips. And then he can win some more money and then he can just chuck it, Gimme Ghoul, and he can, I don't know, put it somewhere, do whatever he wants with it. I understand this is a weak connection, but like I said, I only wanted to go for one rock, and I wanted to go with stuff that I've seen Ben Grimm do, seen him play poker loads. Gimme Ghoul is effectively just money, coins. There you go, poker chips, buy-ins and all that stuff. Poker, Gimme Ghoul. Next up, I wanted to go with Ben Grimm's fighting ability because before becoming the Thing, even though as the Thing he's still a skilled fighter, but he was in the army and all that kind of stuff, and he was a skilled hand-to-hand fighter. I can't remember if they specified what fighting style or anything, but he was very skilled. He was a good, strong brawler. He wouldn't have been like a fighter like a Bruce Lee, you know, jumping around and doing stuff. It was just powerhouse, technical blocking, hitting with hard hits. So I've gone for Fro. You could have had Sork, you could have had Fro, but again, I think Sork being a bit quicker and all this stuff, and Fro being a bit more of the meatier, chunkier powerhouse. The idea of that, and you could even maybe see them training together. Ben getting on his one of whatever colour belt he might be on at the time and stuff like that, just in the Baxter building training room or wherever they're going to do it, and just sparring, going up against each other. I just wanted to honour the fact that Ben Grimm himself is actually a skilled fighter. He's not there just for it's clobbering time. He is skilled at fighting. So I wanted to give him a fighting type, and I wanted a fighting type that really fit the bill. You could see for, like I said, they are kind of the same sort of stocky, like kind of little posture and shit like that. So that's his fighting type. It's Fro. Next up, Ben Grimm does also get a genuine starter, and that's Cinderace. Now, again, you might be thinking straight away, what the fuck is Cinderace, a fire bunny, got anything to do with Ben Grimm? Now, it's more of what Cinderace is and what it represents. And Cinderace represents, I know it's a particular one, but it's still one. And it's sport. Cinderace with its footy, or sorry if you're an American, yeah, you know, soccer, but it's footy. Cinderace is a representation of sport. And Ben Grimm, again, is still very much a big fan and a big lover of sport and played a hell of a lot of sport. Not so much when he obviously changed over from being Ben into the Thing, but as Ben Grimm, he did definitely play a lot of sport and he was involved in a lot of sport. So I feel like it'd be the two that they can relate to. Plus, Cinderace being this Pokemon that's able to take a bit of damage and whatnot, it would be safe relatively as well for the Thing to maybe play Cinderace again in the Baxter building, whether they've got a court somewhere, whether they're playing a bit of basketball or they're in the field and they're playing some American football, if they are going out and playing some footy or whatever. But I feel like it said it was a big part of the origin story of the younger days of Ben, of what made Ben and who and what he was into, because he was, like I said, it was the polar opposite to Reed with science and, you know, homework and studying and all this kind of shit, and Ben just sort of being sporty and active and sort of just tough guy, kind of two different counterparts that cross together. And I think the early days of Ben, the sport is a big part of him. So I wanted to go for a sporty Pokemon, and the most sport, there are a few sporty Pokemon, but the most sportiest one to me is Cinderace. As well, kind of like Clefairy, we're going down the Q route with this big rock thing, but it's Mousehold. Ben Grimm is 110%. Are you all right, sir? Where you trying to sniff at and get? Is very much a massive family guy. He is all about family, whether it be his own family as Ben and then changing to the Thing and trying to find ways to reconnect and re-get there. But it's also the likes of the the kids of the Fantastic Four kids, or calling him Uncle Ben and stuff like that. His love-hate relationship with Johnny, but we've seen to the parts where he's broken down because of certain things that have happened to Johnny. I'm trying to do safe shit, so it's not spoiler-free in case one day you read these certain storylines. I'm on about certain people sometimes die or go miss or whatever and causes Bender. It happened a while ago. But he is very much a family man. He will do what he can to protect his family. The Fantastic Four themselves, yes, 3 of them are technically genuinely related, but he is much part of that family as well. Him and Reed might as well be brothers. Him and Johnny Storm on some level might as well be brothers. He looks after Storm. He is a family guy. Mousehold, it's a collection of family. What perfect representation there is. And people are like, why have you got that? It's like, because family is everything. Look at these little beautiful bastards. They're a family, and I love them, and I love my family. So Ben Grimm loves his family. Mousehold. We have it. Hopefully his team's down there somewhere. I think as well, did we have... yeah, we got Cinderace as a shiny. I couldn't find a decent enough gift that wasn't all clumped up, pixelated. So he can have a shiny as well. Why the fuck not? But hopefully his team, there we go, for his different reasons. Fighting capabilities, his space travel, his love of sports, and I'm not just saying that one. His love of his family, Rhyperia, self-explanatory. And the bloke loves a gamble. He likes to play a bit of poker and whatnot. Ben Grimm's Pokemon team. There we have the visuals. If you did enjoy this video, please support Booski and Shaduski and James. I know you'll be listening. I don't know if you'll be listening this far in. I don't know how far you get. Probably 2 seconds like most people. But please let me know in the comments below who you would chop and change and who you would swap in for whatever different reasons. Because again, you fucking just come up with some beautiful answers that I've completely missed or overlooked or whatever. Phenomenal. So please let me know in the comments below. Anybody let me know in the comments below. And if you do want any suggestions of who we want next, because mostly we go for the more conventional comic book characters, but there are a lot of other comic book characters, you know, people that have appeared in comics like a Walker Dead. We could do a Rick Grimes and shit like that. Rick and Morty have had Pokemon, and I've had comics. We could do some shit like that. But let us know if you want a particular character, and even if it's one that I don't know, I can quickly try and do some research on them and look at what their key values and points and stuff are and make a team for them. But anyway, visuals, there we go. Thank you so much for watching. That was this week's edition of Pokemon Thursday. Ben Grimm's Pokemon team. Remember to always keep being you and keep on keeping on.